Hello and welcome back up to the craft room. Today we're going to be reviewing 10 blocks from our Heirloom Afghan Crochet Along. We're going to be reviewing blocks 41 through 50. So let's get started. Now this is a very pretty block, and don't be concerned when you make the block that it's a little bit wavy here at the top. That's going to even itself out once we get all of the squares joined together for your Afghan. This is block number 41. It's the fan and popcorn stitch in color C. So you can see we have these beautiful fans here. We have 2 rows of them, and they're separated by all of these fun little popcorn stitches. So this is the fan and popcorn stitch. Our next block is block number 42, and this is the fan trellis. This is in color A, and again, you don't have to block your squares if you don't want to. Of course, you can if you feel the need to. Once these are all joined together, they are going to straighten themselves out quite nicely. So we do have these beautiful fans, which are different looking than the shells that we had in our last block. And then we have this pretty trellis that goes right up in between the sets of fans and also a little bit here on the sides. So block number 42, the fan trellis. Next is block 43. This is the puff stitch, and this is in color B. And here you can see we just have rows here separating our rows of puffs. So we have 3 lovely rows of puff stitches here in our block. So again, block 43, the puff stitch. Next we have block 44. Now I know that this is a block that really stumped a lot of people. We have tutorials for both right-handed and left-handed. If this is one that is stumping you, this is the cluster braid. So here we have these lovely front post double crochets that are chaining up each side of our block, and in the center we have these clusters that form this beautiful braid right up the center of our block. I love this block. For the Afghan, this is one of my favorite ones. I love the texture in it. I love the look, but it is one of the more difficult ones to complete. So make sure you check those tutorials if you need them. I had quite a few ladies reach out saying, I'm waiting for you to get to block 44 because it's the toughest one. So here it is, block 44, the cluster braid in color B. Next we have block 45. This is the crossed ripple stitch in color B as well. And you know, I love that, whoops, let's do it this way. Now you may notice I need to fix this one. I put my edging on the wrong side. I made a boo-boo, but that's okay because you're still going to get to see how this block looks. I will fix that after this recording. It happens, you know, sometimes you make little boo-boos, and you can decide whether, if you make a boo-boo, you can look at your block and decide, do I want to keep it this way? Do I want to fix it? Here is our crossed ripple stitch. You can see the crossed stitches going across here, but you know what? If I decide I don't want to fix it, it's still pretty on the wrong side of the block. I could put this on the Afghan. Nobody would know the difference. It's still pretty. It just doesn't have that crossed ripple stitch. So I'm going to be fixing it again. This is week 45, the crossed ripple stitch in color B. I made a boo-boo. I'm going to fix it. Next up, we have week 46. These are the palm leaves, and this is in color C. And you can see here, if I just kind of pull that block apart a little bit, you can see the little palm leaves that we created with our color C. Again, if you want to block, you can, but you don't have to. Once I put the blanket together, it's all going to come out nicely. So color C, week 46, palm leaves. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our Heirloom Afghan Crochet Along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. Next we have week 47. This is the ripple stitch in color C. Now when I sewed my ends in, I noticed right here I made a boo-boo. I came through too much on the other side. I'm going to go back and I'm going to repair this as well, because I don't want this showing when I put my blocks together, because we're going to have 2 rows of white that come together to make the separation of our blocks, and I don't want this to show, so I'm going to fix that as well. But this is week 47, the ripple stitch, and this has a lovely texture. I love that so many of these blocks have texture that you can feel as you're snuggling up with your sampler Afghan. Week 47, the ripple stitch. Next we have week 48. This is block 48, the raised ripple stitch. This is in color C, and look at the texture on this one. This one is absolutely gorgeous. We had a lot of front and back post double crochet to create these beautiful ripples. Look at that. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous block. Looking at the back side, you don't get those ripples because we've done all of the work to show here on the front, and I just love the texture of this block. So again, week 48, the raised say it 5 times fast, the raised ripple stitch in color C. Next up we have week 49. This is the lacy wave stitch. Now I had some of you say that you were really worried because when you work this block up before you put your edging on, you really do have a lot of that wave here for this lacy wave. Again, don't worry, because once we sew everything together, these peaks are going to come up and this is going to be even across here and everything's going to fit together nicely. But look at these beautiful lacy wave fans that work right up through the center and also along the edging of our block. Very pretty. Week 49, the lacy wave stitch. And one more for this recap of our Afghan blocks. This is another favorite, and I love that this one looks the same on the front or the back, so if you mess up, you're okay. But this is week 50. This is the picot stitch block, and I love that in between your stitches you have all of these little fun little picots that when you're sitting with your Afghan, they make these little raised little bumps, and then you can smooth them down, almost like those little sequins pillows that are so popular. I love the tactile feeling of this block. So this is week 50, the picot stitch in color B. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me for putting together our little recap of these 10 blocks for our Afghan, for our Heirloom Afghan Crochet Along. I'm going to finish up the remaining 13 blocks. We'll have another video showing the last 13, and then we'll start putting our Afghan together. Until I see you here in the craft room next time, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.